President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo says the French-led troop withdrawal from Mali required new arrangements in the regional fight against terrorism. He was speaking with France 24 at the EU-African Union Summit in Brussels.
Clearly, a new security arrangement has to be made in the light of the decision of the European countries led by France to leave the Malian theater. And we're engaged in those discussions to see what modifications there has to be to the security posture of ECOWAS, as well as the European forces, because my understanding from the statement that the French president made to us in private as well as publicly is that they're relocating their forces to Niger, essentially. And that will therefore have an impact on the overall posture and strategy of the various players. There was an agreement between ECOWAS and the transitional authorities at the beginning in August 2020, which brought the transition to come to an end in February this year, at the end of this month. At the last minute, we heard from the new junta in Mali that they no longer were in a position to honor that pledge, but that they were proposing a situation for 4 or 5 years in office. Some of us were aghast at this. I'm an elected president in Ghana. I have 4 years in office. And for an unelected, illegitimate regime to want to be in office with the consent of ECOWAS for 5, 6 years sounded to us outrageous. And that is why the proposal was rejected. We are determined to work towards a more acceptable solution. What
is a more acceptable? 12 months, 18 months?
We'll see. I mean, it depends on what is put on the table. But clearly, the proposal that is now being put on the table by the Malian authorities is clearly unacceptable.
Less than a year would be acceptable?
My own feeling from talking to my peers is that a 12-month period, it would be an acceptable framework. But that is, I mean, you hear from my mouth, it's not that it is ECOWAS policy. We need to engage and sit down and then find out how that can work out.
President Akufo-Addo, who is also the current chairman of ECOWAS, expressed optimism about a swift transition to civilian rule in Burkina Faso, noting that the junta had moved very quickly to engage in consultations.
So far, the signals and the words that are coming out of Ouagadougou under the new military authority there are, if you like, more encouraging. And we're seeing to what extent. But they've moved very quickly. They put into being a technical committee on their side to make proposals to the junta about the timetable for the transition. And the impression that is being given is that they're in a hurry to put in an acceptable transitional framework.
He further warned the coup leaders in Guinea, which saw a military takeover last September.
All our public statements have indicated...
More sanctions on the horizon?
We'll see. But we have indicated that we are very concerned about the absence of a clear timetable for the restoration of the democratic rule in Guinea.
When should they provide such
any time from now, as soon as possible.
President Akufo-Addo, in conclusion, insisted that military coups in West Africa are unacceptable. He added that the issue of third presidential terms was also a matter of concern for the region.